I've got to add it to the stage. Boom. And, and then we have camera. Okay, so let's. I've got to add it to the stage. Boom. And then we have camera. Okay, so let's start this party over. Thank you for joining me live. I am Karen Janine. I am streaming on Facebook, I'm streaming on LinkedIn, and I am streaming on YouTube. So, for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who already know me, give me an opportunity to introduce myself to some and reintroduce myself to others. If you see me looking down, that's so that I can stay on subject and on topic, because this is an incredibly valuable live and conversation that I want to have with you today. So I am Karen Janine. I'm a CFO that specializes in value pricing. So what does that mean? I get to help powerhouse women who are running service-based businesses to create pricing to reflect their true value and to achieve their revenue goals faster. So welcome again. Welcome to those who are live and to those who will be catching the replay. You are incredibly I'm grateful for all of you who are catching the live and catching the replay. So today's conversation is about exposing myths about value. And the main reason, let me just tell you the main reason why I chose this topic, I chose this niche, and I wanted to begin having more conversations about it. Because in every room, every arena, a lot of conversations that I'm having with entrepreneurs, and particularly women entrepreneurs, because I spend a lot of time around other women entrepreneurs, there's always a conversation about pricing. What do I charge for an offer? How much? How often do I meet? And so there's always a conversation about pricing. And when I took a look at the thing that I do best, one of the things that I do best is I'm able to get to the core of a subject, a core of a situation, a core of an individual, to really peel back the layers and expose the value, right? And in business, pricing was that thing that helped me to get closer to the entrepreneur, to help them to see their value and to bring that value to the marketplace by way of pricing. So today I'm going to be exposing 3 myths that keep many of us in a perpetual state of overgiving. And I know that there is somebody that is watching that knows exactly what I'm talking about. Just this morning, I was on a co-working session with a couple of business owners, and one of the young ladies mentioned how she had missed out on an opportunity, or so she thought she had missed out on an opportunity because her price was too high. This individual who was considering investing in her services thought that the price was too high. And she had considered calling the person and discounting her services so that she can get the business. That's a form of overgiving. So I know that there is someone that is watching and listening today that knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say that sometimes pricing keeps us in the state of overgiving, or not knowing how to price keeps us in a perpetual state of overgiving. So today I'm going to dive deep into understanding how to really truly price your services based on the value that you provide. So I want to take about 20 seconds to ask you to do me a really big favor. I want this to reach as many people as possible. So I want you to, wherever it is, whether you're on Facebook Live, whether you're on LinkedIn, or whether you're on YouTube, I want you to share this with your network, because this is going to be good. Not just because let me not say that, because I'm teaching it. this is going to be good, but this is information that every single entrepreneur who runs a service-based business needs to hear. So I'm going to ask you to share it to your community and share it to your network. So I want to start by defining value. A lot of times it's difficult for us to really understand a thing that we are asked to do or called to do if we don't know the definition of the thing. Like sometimes we have an idea of what it is, and then there are other times where we don't really have an idea. And I think that's the case with value. Like we really don't have an idea. I would consider myself to be kind of like a wordsmith. Words matter to me. So I'm often looking up what words mean, the origin of them, the context in which they're used. So let's take a minute, let's take a couple minutes maybe to just do that with value. So the definition of value, and let me just apologize up front because I don't know whether or not I can see comments in the section. So if you post something and I don't see your comment on this live, then I will definitely see it afterwards and I will respond. So in the moment, if I don't see your comments, then it's not because I'm ignoring them, it's because I can't see them. So if I don't answer your comments, I will definitely answer your questions and your comments post live. Can't post comments to some destinations. Okay, so let's start with defining the word value. Value refers to the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Let me repeat that. One of the definitions of value is the importance, the worth, or usefulness of something. Another definition, which is more external, is the regard something is held to deserve. So one of those definitions is more external. It gives control on something or someone externally determining the value. And then the other one I look at as being more internal, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So for sake of this conversation and for me exposing these value myths that cause overgiving, the definition that we are using is the importance or worth or usefulness of something. And here are some synonyms to that: utility, practicality, advantage, effectiveness, significance, profit, gain, or benefit, right? As you're listening to these and as you're reflecting on what the definition that I gave of value, I want you to think about how that applies to you, right? And the service that you offer, services that you offer. Are the services that you offer, are they practical? Do they give an advantage? Is there an effectiveness by having you as the person to deliver that service? Are you significant? Is there some significance to you being the person to deliver the service? What about profit? What does your client or what does your service profit the client that you provide that service for? And the origin of the word value is traced back to an old French word called valor, which is be, worth. And then a Latin word, valere, V-A-L-E-R-E, which is to be strong, to be well, to be of value. And I thought that it was interesting in the origin of these words that the verb be is used, which means, if you, again, take a look at the word be, it means existence, have being, be alive, exist. So it means that it is already in existence. It's not something that has to happen. It already exists. So the very origin and nature of the word value, once used and once you determine that you have value or that there's value in your service, by nature of the origin of the word, that's it. It has worth. The worth exists. The significance exists. The effectiveness exists. The profit exists. The gain exists. So I hope you're following me. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down, because this is about to be good. This is about to be good. So now that we have the definition, we've got some synonyms, and we have the origin, we've established the origin or the context of this word value. Now let's get into some of these myths. Before I go there, let me add a deeper level of understanding. Let me add a deeper level of understanding. And this is from my favorite book that teaches about value. The book says that I am created in my Creator's image, giving me an intrinsic worth. I came worthy. I came having value already because I'm made in my Creator's image and my Creator has value. In Genesis 1:27, it reminds us that we are made in the Creator's image. This alone, again, signifies your unique value, my unique value, your significance, and my significance. In Matthew 6:26, in case you needed just another layer, Jesus emphasizes that our value surpasses material wealth. And God cares for me. Put yourself in there. He cares for me deeply. This highlights my worth. It highlights that my worth is inherent and not dependent on an economic status, not dependent on something external or somebody else determining what that value is. So I hope that you're picking up what I'm putting down. Let me know in the comments if this is resonating with anybody that's listening. We haven't got into the meat and potatoes. I haven't got into exposing the myths yet, because I want to give you some background. I want to give you a foundation to stand on, right? And I'm hoping that you're getting a little bit more relaxed, that your shoulders are starting to, kind of lean back, and you kind of like, if you got a collar, you pop in your collar at this moment. Let me give you one more deeper level of understanding from my favorite book. This one is a parable, so it's a story, and it's a story in the book of Matthew, and I love this story. It teaches us about stewardship of our abilities. It underscores that our or my, put yourself in there, make it personal. It underscores that my contributions have value and should be maximized, reflecting on my Creator's trust and my potential. Again, going back to the Genesis 1:27, where I'm made in my Creator's image. So that said, let's get into myth number one. Myth number one is that lower prices attract clients. Let me take a deep breath, because out of all of them, this one is probably the one that grinds my gears the most. I've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter whether it's a new entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that's making multiple 6 or 7 figures, and sometimes even businesses, large organizations struggle with lower pricing, believing that lower pricing attracts more clients. It's a common belief because you think that people will buy at a lower price. But it's actually a perception problem. The best example, or the example that's coming to mind, is Wally World and the place that tells you what you want or what you're going to get when you go in there. You know those two places I'm talking about. One is based off of lower prices, right? And the other is based off of experience. Lower prices doesn't necessarily mean that your services are going to attract more people. It can often lead to devaluing your services and attracting the clients who may not appreciate your worth and who you don't want to work with. Again, think about those two places that I inferred, Wally World and the place that tells you what you are going to buy when you get there. Think about your perception of value when you go in there. I specifically know, like, what I'm going to go to one place for, or when I want a different experience or a different feel, a different perception. It's about that lower price and a more moderately priced goods and service, right? So lower prices does not attract more clients, especially attracting the clients that you want to work with and the ones that will appreciate your true worth. So why is it a myth? It's because when your service prices are too low, clients actually perceive them as less valuable. So the opposite is actually happening. They think that there's a catch or that the quality isn't up to par. And if that's your market, it's nothing wrong with that. But understand that just because you lower your prices doesn't mean that you are going to attract more clients. It can also lead to attracting the clients who are price shoppers rather than those who you want to offer your valuable services to. Let me tell you about a client of mine, a client now turned friend of mine. She is in the beauty industry, and there was services that she was offering from low dollar to moderately priced. Her lowest dollar service was the one that brought in a lot of clients. When I asked her to take a look at her client service offering, let me back up. What I asked her first was, what is the service that brings you the most joy? It was her moderately priced service, not the low dollar service. She actually hated doing that service, but she did it because it was popular. It attracted more clients, but it attracted the clients that she didn't want to work with. And when we took a deeper dive look into the profit, what she was profiting and what she was gaining, she was spending too much time, too much energy, too many resources. Therefore, she was losing all around the board. She cut that service out completely, referred it to other service providers, and began doing the work that she loved doing, which was more moderately priced. And she doubled her income in less than 6 months. So that's a real life example of how lowering prices do not attract more of the right clients. It may attract more clients or more people. It may make it popular, but it doesn't make it the thing that you want to do. And eventually you'll find yourself burning out. So here's an action step that I want you to do. Either you can do it now, write it down if you're taking notes, and I hope that you are taking notes, because any wise person shows up to learn to be, and then to do. And the way to do is that you take notes. So here's an action step. Here's what I want you to do. Either on this live, like I said, right now, or on the replay, when you catch the replay, but definitely at some point today. Do not let the day end without doing this action step. Take a moment to reassess your current pricing. Consider ways that you can adjust it to reflect your true value. Ask yourself the same question that I asked my client. What is the service offering that brings you the most joy? Remember, your clients, the right clients, will understand and appreciate your true value. Myth number 2. The second myth is that providing high value means that you have to do more work. It's not true. It's not true. It is not true. You don't have to do more work in order to provide more value. Go back to the origin of the word. Go back to the definition. Go back to that deeper understanding that you have value. Your expertise is valuable. So you don't need to do more work in order to have value. The value is already there. So that's an incorrect belief. Value is more about impact than it is about your input. Value is more about impact and access more than it is about input. So it's not the amount of effort that you put into doing something. It's not in the amount of time that you spend that provides the value. So you don't need to do more work in order to have high value. One of the examples that I used when I was teaching entrepreneurship across the board to young students, to adults, one of the examples that I would use is if you were in the dead of winter and the thing that provided you heat, whether it was your furnace, whether it was a heater, whatever the thing is that provided you heat. And for those who are in the South, think about it in terms of air conditioning, right? Your level of comfort as it relates to temperature. But in this story, I'm using winter and the cold because lots of people, I was teaching in the Western Northwest, and they understood cold, inclement weather. So you're in the dead of winter. It is below degrees or below freezing. So you are at -degree weather and your heating unit goes out. You call a service provider in the middle of the night when it's inconvenient outside of normal business hours because you want to restore heat. Service provider gets there. It takes less than 5 minutes to restore your heat. Was that valuable? Would you pay a valuable price for that? Absolutely. It doesn't have to do with how much effort, and it doesn't have to do with how much time this professional spent on providing you a solution. High value doesn't equate to more work. It's about the quality, it's about the impact, and it's about the access to you as the provider and the impact of the work that you do. So providing high value means delivering a service efficiently, not just putting in more hours. And the closer a person is in proximity to you, the efficiency of their results should significantly go up because they're closer and closer to the source of being able to resolve their problem. Hope that makes sense. So the action step that I want you to do for this high impact activity is identify ways that either you already provide high value without increasing your workload, or how can you provide high value without increasing your workload. So let me repeat that. I want you to identify ways that you can provide high value without increasing your workload to whatever service or offering that you provide that brings you the most joy. Not just any service offering, the one that brings you the most joy. I want you to focus on activities that deliver the most significant results, that your clients will have the highest level of transformation. Focus on those activities. Again, let me repeat this action step for myth number 2, which is high value means more work. I want you to identify ways that you can provide a high value without increasing your workload. And then myth number 3, clients just won't pay you more. I was in a room full of brilliant, powerhouse, professional women. And I'd say over half of the room, when it came to talking pricing and when it came to talking about increasing pricing or just looking at your pricing and raising it, over half of the room, you could hear a sigh. You could almost see the shoulders drop. You could almost see the disappointment and the thought of just raising their prices. And here's what they said. That client, I'm having a hard time with clients paying at the low dollar. So why would I think that they would pay a higher price? Why would I think that that would create more sales? And we were in a sales training. So this third myth that clients won't pay more for your services is really unfounded. A lot of them had not even increased their prices, so they really didn't know. The key is to effectively communicate the value and build trust with the clients. Again, if you go back to myth number 1, where low value service or a low price service will bring in more clients, perhaps there's a misalignment with the client that you actually want to serve or should be serving with your offer, that will understand that paying more doesn't mean that it's outside of their price bracket, right? It's not outside of their price bracket. Maybe they haven't bought at the lower price point because they don't believe in the product. I don't want something that's low value. So it's a myth because the clients that are attracted to your true value are willing to pay more when they see the true value of your services. And seeing is more than just a physical seeing. It is a perception. So I see what I see, and then I see what I don't see. So when they're able to see the true value of your services, then they are willing to pay for what they see value in. It's all about how you present and communicate that value. How are you communicating the value? The value is already there. You don't have to bring the value. Go back to, and if you missed it, go back to the beginning of this live where I talked about the origin of the word value is be worth. And the word be means that it already exists. So the value is already in you. You have to communicate the value in order to build the trust. because sometimes it's hard dealing with his kids. There are multiple ways that you can build trust. Multiple ways that you can build trust. Me communicating to you right now is me building trust with you, the viewer, you, my future client, so that you know that the value that I bring is something that you need and that you see that value. So, a few other ways you can build through consistency, and consistency happens over time. It's not something that's a one and done. Testimonials. I'm not a big fan of testimonials, but there are a community of people where testimonials are needed. So that's another way where you may be able to communicate. Again, we're talking about communicating value, not showing value because you already have value, or building value because you already have value. And clear communication can potentially make clients want to invest more because I trust you. I know that I'm in safe hands. I know that you get me and that you see me. And that's one of the things that I hear time and time again when I'm working with clients is that I love that you see me. It's like this is a client talking to me, can almost predict what it is that I need because you're always giving it. You know what to say in the moment. You know what to tell me not to say or what not to do. And so I see you as a person, and I see you as a daughter, and I see you as a business owner. You already have value. I can't keep stressing that enough. So I gave you a real life example of clients not paying more, right? In the previous example where I talked about, getting rid of low dollar services, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Increase your prices. Increase your prices and communicate the value. And then you're going to give the value because the value is already in you. You don't have to build the value, it's already in you. So clients won't pay more. I want you to get that out of your mind. Get that out of your mind. Clients will pay more when I communicate the value that I bring to their problem or desire. So here's the action step that I want you to take as it relates to this particular myth, dispelling this myth in your own business. Practice, 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 practice builds consistency. Practice articulating your value. Explain. Communicate, not explain. Communicate your unique benefits and outcomes and transformation your clients can expect. And it doesn't matter what price point you've decided to price an offering, you should be able to communicate the benefits and the transformation that your clients can expect. Because remember, I said that the value is in you. It's not something that each service offering, you don't provide a different level of value. That's what I'm trying to get at. You don't provide a different level of value at different price points. The value is there. You are valuable. What you offer is valuable. How you communicate that and how a client accesses that dictates the price. So value doesn't dictate your price. Value doesn't dictate your price. Value doesn't dictate your price. Or price doesn't dictate your value. Price doesn't dictate your value. Price doesn't dictate your value. Because Value is already there in everything that you offer and everything that you provide to your clients. It is valuable. So the action, addressing this concern directly. Many people will worry that if your clients don't buy at a lower price, again, this is something that I heard this past weekend, that they won't buy at a higher price. So I challenge you with that thought to create a new higher price. So whatever your highest priced offering is now, I'm going to challenge you to create a new higher price for an offering, and then focus on the exclusivity it offers, focus on how much value is in there without adding more work. So unfortunately, I am unable to see comments at this time. Let me double check. Let me see on Facebook if there's any questions, and then I'll also go to LinkedIn, because this was the time for comments and questions. So if there are no comments or questions, then I will just move right along, but I believe I'm unable to see the comments and or questions. So I'll go back later and I will address those comments and questions in the section. So let's recap. We talked about 3.5. We've talked about 3.5 myths that lower prices attract more clients, that high value means more work, and that clients won't pay more. And the half one was worrying that clients didn't buy your lower price offer, so you think that they won't buy your higher price offer. And that's kind of wrapped up in the clients won't pay more. By understanding and addressing these myths head on, you can set prices that truly reflect your value. And remember, price doesn't dictate the value. There isn't a direct relationship between price and value. Price and proximity are more synonymous than price and value. And that's a totally different live where I can dive deeper into that. But for sake of this conversation, I want you to remember that price does not dictate your value. Like, so you don't have, if it's a low price, then it's low value. Or if it's high price, it's not automatically high value. Go back to the beginning of this live and listen to what I said about the definition of value, the origin of value, and the deeper understanding of value. So I want to offer next steps, right? I am waitlisting. So I'm working on a pricing power guide. It's an audio series to help you to dig deeper, to go where I go deeper into conversation about setting prices that reflect your true value so that you can achieve your revenue goals faster. I'm waitlisting that. So if you want to have first access when that comes out, I need you to DM me power pricing so that I can put you on the email list. I can get you information to put you on the email list. Other than that, right now, that is the only way to, I shouldn't say that's the only way to work with me, because if you know already you want to bypass the pricing calculator, you don't want to go through the exercises on your own, you want a power partner to walk alongside you, to step inside your business, and to get a 360 view of your business, everything that happens financially in your business, and help you to price according to your own, what's going on in your own business, then we can do a pricing audit. We can do a pricing audit, pricing consultation, pricing training, where again, I partner with you, I step inside your business, it becomes mine. I step inside your business to get a 360 view of what it looks like to run your business from an operations standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, and from a financial standpoint, so that we can make sure that your pricing reflects your true value and that your service offerings are the service offerings that align with your true value. So those two things, let me run that back. The first thing is, if you're more of a DIYer and you want to dig into this pricing thing a little bit more, I am creating an audio series that will walk you through digging deeper into setting what I call true pricing and power pricing. You can get on the wait list for that. And the second is, if you already know that you want a partner to step inside your business to give you a 360 view from a financial perspective, then DM me the word "let's go." Power, if you want the pricing calculator, the DIY. Let's go if you want a partner. Again, thank you for joining me. Those who are joining me live, I want to say thank you. Those who are catching the replay, I want to say thank you for joining today's session. Remember, you have the power to price your services in a way that reflects your true value. When you hear this, and if you agree with that, I want you to type it in the chat, but I want you to make it personal. I have the power to price my services in a way that reflects my true value. And your true value is not based on anything that you can do more of. It's already in you. So it's about proximity, and it's about a little bit about performance. So it's about performance and it's about proximity. So I want you, yes, I will address that before we get off this live. There's this thing that people would say all the time: know your worth, add tax. You don't add tax. I say know your worth, you add profit. Because tax you got to give to somebody else. Profit stays in-house. Add profit, add profit, add profit. So I want you to keep believing in the worth of what you offer. Keep believing in the worth that you in what you offer, because the value is already there. It's about communicating the value, communicating the transformation, communicating the performance, and then delivering through proximity. Communicating the performance and delivering through proximity is what creates your value. So good afternoon. Have an amazing day, an amazing evening, an incredible afternoon, whatever time zone you are in the world. Thanks again for joining me. And until next time, step into the power to price your service according to the value that you offer. If you found this live helpful, again, share it with your community, share it with your network. If you would like for me to talk to your community and your network about this, also let me know. All right. Again, I am Karen Janine. I am a CFO that specializes in value pricing. all for the purpose of helping powerhouse professional women to create pricing that reflects their true value and helps them to achieve their revenue goals faster. Bye for now.